Today I want to use data from the MLS to show why house prices are not going to decrease in Northeast Ohio in 2022. My name's Barney and I'm a realtor with Russell Real Estate. And the first chart that I actually wanted to show you actually has more to do with a misnomer or misconception, I should say, in the media that there just haven't been any houses that have been listed for sale the past couple of years. So this data is pulled directly from the MLS, and these are in the areas that I primarily serve. So I broke it down by school district, and that's going to be Berea, Brunswick, Buckeye, Cloverleaf, Highland, Medina, Revere, Strongsville, and Wadsworth school districts. So what we're looking at here are basically your seasonal peaks and valleys for home listings every single year dating back to 2013. Of course, the summertime is a prime time to list, especially in Northeast Ohio. More people want to move in the summertime. It's just easier logistically compared to the winter. And then if you do have school-age children, you don't want to uproot them in the middle of the school season either. So that's basically what we're looking at. But what you can see here is we've actually had a decrease in home listings dating back to 2019. So this actually predates the pandemic. 2020 was obviously lower, but then we actually saw a spike last year and we're more in line with 2020 as of right now. So I just wanted to kind of combat that misconception first. But the truth of the matter is that we just have very few active listings. So what active listings are houses that have been listed on the MLS that are not under contract. So they're not pending and they're not contingent. And dating back to 2013, if you were a buyer, you basically had your pick of the litter. So there were a ton of houses that sat on the market a lot longer, and you could take your time and you could negotiate a little more. Now it's definitely more of a seller's market and a strong seller's market at that. So if we look at the numerical data here, you could see that the numbers have really been pretty sparse over the past couple of years, and 2022 is no exception to that. So the one thing that I would point out, though, is that we actually finally have seen a year-over-year increase for active listings in June of 2022 compared to 2021. And I could actually see that trend continuing as the Fed has increased interest rates. It's going to decrease demand just because fewer buyers are going to be able to purchase. So as fewer buyers are able to purchase, houses will sit on the market a little longer, and then you'll see the active listings and the inventory go up. So that's actually not a bad thing because we are in such an extreme seller's market right now. Hopefully it'll actually get more toward a balanced market for the health of the housing market in general. The other thing I wanted to point out, though, was the days to sell. So the median days to sell in the areas that I serve, again, looking back at 2013, even all the way through 2016, 2018, it would take almost 2 months to sell. So we're looking at an average of, say, 50 to 75 days for houses to sit on the market before they went under contract. That's not the case anymore. So 2022, you still have to make a decision basically within a week. So the last 3 months have been 5 days on market before going under contract. And that just shows the demand, despite the higher interest rates, is still there. And lastly, I want to show the supply side for the supply and demand. So again, the months of inventory, that's something that agents typically look at just to see if it's a balanced market, a buyer's market, or a seller's market. So a balanced market is going to be about 6 months of inventory. And then if you're at 3 months or less, that's going to be considered a strong seller's market. So again, in the areas that I'm looking at, that I primarily serve, the past 2 years, we have not had a single month where we were at a month and a half of inventory or higher. So everything has basically been less than 1 month of inventory, meaning there's just not a lot of houses that are active for sale to meet the demand for how many buyers are looking. And as a result, this chart right here kind of supports that data. Because of the supply and demand issue, there's too few supply and there's too much demand. That's just going to keep increasing prices. So that's why I don't think that houses in Northeast Ohio are going to decrease in value. I'd love to hear your opinion, though, and if you don't mind commenting below, then we can chat.